Hi everyone, Jessica here from Paper Ink Stamp and welcome back to my channel. So today's video we're going to be looking at issue 217 of Simply Cards and Papercraft. So with this month's magazine we get a few different bits and pieces. I think it was in the last video, one of the other videos, I said that this was in an embossing folder. It's not, it's actually a stencil. So this set is called Fabulous Foliage. So again, we have got this stencil. I'm going to guess this is about 6 by 6 inch. So this is going to be really great for creating different kinds of backgrounds. Then we have got a stamp set here at the bottom, a couple of sentiments: you're fabulous, it's your day, happy birthday, best wishes, with love and for you. We've then got a few bits of foliage. We've got some flowers here, just the flower heads, and then on the stems as well. And then we do have a bottle, so you can see an example here then where you could have these foliage and flowers actually coming out of that bottle. There is also a set of digital papers that you can download from the website as well, which again will really just go with this theme perfectly. So then we've got this second little stamp set. So this is by Chloe's Creative Cards. This is an A6 side. We have got 4 stamps in here. This is called a spring foliage. So just 4 really good sized stamps in here. You've got different kinds of leaves. Again, foliage, just to help kind of build up your cards. So we've got some really great stuff with this month's issue. Let's just take a quick look through the magazine like we normally do and have a look at the inspiration. So here we go, we have got a stylish stenciling. So again, it's telling you you've got those papers that you can download. So we've got the wreaths. This looks like a really beautiful sunflower, and that's just using the stencil to actually obviously stencil through. And then they've just cut them out. So that's a really great use of using the stencil itself for, you know, a different look. And then again, just using that stencil, got panels, we've got wreaths in here, really beautiful butterflies being cut out. So again, some really great designs. Some great how-to, so we've got faux bleaching in there. We have got faux letterpressing, again, all using that stencil. But again, lots of different types of cards in here. So loads of inspiration to be able to get started with your free gifts. So again, you've got lots of other kinds of inspiration in here. I mainly just focus on the inspiration for the magazine free gift, rather than sort of everything else that's in the magazine. So here we have got them creating a birthday tag. So down here you've got some templates you can download as well. We've got a mini handbag, we've got gift wraps and a tag there, and we've got a really cool trinket box. We've got a tea caddy, we've got a biscuit cake. So again, not just using it for cards, other types of sort of crafting projects that you can create and actually use, again, those downloadable papers, but then those free physical items we've got. This I do really love. This is a floating teacup centerpiece. So it looks like you can download a template for this. So we might have a look at this. And again, look at the colours. This is so beautiful, all of those flowers. And again, that's just using some of your cardstock that you'll have, again, some of those downloaded papers, but then just your other items that we've got free with this month's magazine. Let's take a quick look at what's going to be included in next month's issue. So here we are really gearing up for summer. So this is called Summer Special. We've got a 26-piece stamp and die set here. So some really fabulous stamps in here. We've got glass, we've got sort of drinking gins, we've got things to fill up the glass with, we've got an umbrella, we've got some fruit there. It looks like we get a 9-piece die set, and I think that's might be 17 coordinating stamps. So that's really great. Plus we've got 40 digital toppers and SVG files. So that was just a look at this month's magazine and then the free gift. So let's actually get into creating a card using our Fabulous Foliage stamp and stencil set. Okay, so the first thing we're going to use is our stencil. So I've just taken it out of the packaging. So I could just use some washi tape to hold this down, but I am going to use just a little bit of our stencil glue. So I haven't used this in a little while, but all we're going to do, this is the Pen Flair Temporary Stick stencil glue. So I'm just going to pop a bit down on my mat. So this is already sort of a little bit sticky. And then, so I'm just going to work out which side is the back. And then I'm just going to sort of dab this all over the back. That's just going to give it the stick that we need just to keep it in place on our card. Okay, so now we've got our cardstock, we can pop our stencil down. So we've got our distressed texture paste. I've got one of my Nuvo spatulas, and I'm literally just gonna pop our paste through the stencil, so nothing complicated, literally just as evenly as we possibly can through our stencil. So there we have got the texture paste all through our stencil. So now we can just lift our stencil up. If I just tip it, there you go, so you can see that really beautiful background. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is hopefully add some foil to our stenciled background. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this foil just right over that texture paste. So I've lightly just brushed it on. I am then just going to take my heat gun and just really gently heat this up a little bit. Okay, so let's pull this back and see what else happens. So, and there's our sort of a foiled background. So again, there might be lots of other ways to be able to do this, maybe easier ways. I, haven't really had much of a go, to be honest with you. This was kind of the first product, that I picked up and thought I'll see if it works with the texture paste, but I'm really happy with how it's come out. So I like the fact that it's not totally solid in all the areas. So we've got like a few of these leaves have come out really great, and then others you've got just sort of bits missing from them, but I really love that you can kind of see that texture from behind it. I think it's really beautiful. So I'm going to leave this to one side just to sort of dry and let it settle, and then we can get started actually looking at some of the other bits we're going to put onto our card. So let's take a look at stamping some of the images that we are going to use. So first of all, from the sort of main set, we'll take our butterfly. We're going to grab maybe we'll use both of these flowers just there, and then from our Stamps by Chloe we are going to use this sort of relatively basic leaf here. So I've got some of the Ink Me cardstock here. We've got our Memento ink. So I'm just gonna really stamp a few of these because I definitely want to have a couple. Got space for a little butterfly there. I'm not sure if we've got just a little space there. So that's that one, and then we've got our two flowers. So I'm going to stamp those. Let's just do 3 of each. Okay, so we're going to start off with our leaves. So I have picked up 3 of the Prism Craft markers. So here we have 418, 421 and 434. So this is obviously part of their green selection. So what I'm going to do is start off with the 434. Just put that to the side. So this is our darkest colour, so I'm just going to come in just on each leaf and just add sort of that center detail. So I haven't sort of played with these too much as of yet, but what I have done with them, I have really enjoyed actually using them. Then I'm going to come in with the 421 and just kind of blend that out a little. And then lastly, I'm going to come in with our 418. So these are going to be, they are quite dark. They have another set of sort of lighter green shades as well. So you can kind of mix and match, you know, to do the kind of shading and colouring that you like to do. So there we have just that really beautiful kind of dark detailing in the middle, and then it sort of goes off into that really lovely light. So what I'll do now, just while I colour in the rest of these leaves and sort of maybe colour in then the rest of the images, I will just speed past this and just pop some music in the background so you can just watch me colour. Okay, so there we've got our images coloured in. So again, really basic, nothing sort of too exciting there. And now we're just going to cut these out. So they don't have coordinating dies. So I'm just going to use my left-handed scissors just to snip around these images. So I've just finished cutting out all of our images. So we've got our bits of foliage here. And I do find that with sets, you know, that have just got a single line for the stem rather than something chunkier that you can actually colour in, I always find it a little bit harder to actually sort of cut it out. So all I'm going to do is take one of my markers. So you can see that I've just kind of cut, I don't know how well you can kind of see that. You can see I've got a lot of white space left. I'm literally just going to take my marker. I'm going to take the chiselled end here, and I'm literally just going to go over that. And it's just going to kind of neaten the whole thing up, make it kind of look like there is a chunky sort of a stem to it, and it's just going to help sort of neaten it up nicely. So let's just do this one here. There, so just sort of finish those off nicely, I think. So the three colours of cardstock that I picked up, we've got fern green, oyster grey and tan brown. So I really wanted to make an actual coloured card today, and I thought it would be nice then just to use some of the classic card because it does have that really beautiful weaved pattern. So I've taken a full sheet of our fern grey cardstock. We're going to trim this down. So we're going to make a... Ooh, what size shall we make? Let's make a 6 by 4 inch. So we are cutting at 8 inch. We are gonna score at 4 inch. Then we're gonna cut this down to 6. So there's our card base. So it's not the thickest of cardstock, but we're going to be matte and layering onto this, and that is just going to help sort of thicken it up nicely. So now we can cut down our foiled background. So I'm just going to kind of decide sort of which bits I want to keep. So I'm definitely going to keep this bit, which has got kind of the fuller. But I think I might go this side, which is sort of roughly then the size of the length of our stencil once you've sort of cut down those sort of niggly bits. So there we have our card base with our really beautiful shiny background. So let's get some double-sided tape on this. Okay, so I'm also going to think where I'm going to be putting like my sentiments, my flowers, and I think I'm going to have it down here. So then I want to keep this sort of more solid section at the top. So I'm just going to line up my card with the grid lines, just to make sure we get it down flat. So again, this, if I just pop it behind something lighter just so you can see. So we've got then our coloured card with that really beautiful foiled background. So now that's the card base with our first layer, our background. So now I want to do a little bit of die cutting to be able to stamp our sentiment. I'm going to be using this new scalloped and straight edge nesting dies. So these are the circles. So I showed you these, that I picked up these in my last haul video. So I want to have sort of 2 layers. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're going to do these 2 sizes here. So we've got the tanned and we have got our oyster grey. So I'm going to die cut our circle, which we can stamp our sentiment onto. This is going to go onto that oyster grey. Just a little bit of washi tape just to hold that down. Like so. Then we're going to use a little bit of this tan. Okay, so these have die cut so beautifully, and it just goes through that cardstock like a dream. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring back my circle that I die cut from. Put that in there. Pop a little bit of tape on the back just to hold that back in place. And what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to heat emboss this with some gold embossing powder to match in then with our really beautiful background. Let's just take a piece of card just to catch. So the one thing I didn't do is I didn't prep this with my anti-static powder bag. But actually that's stamped really well, and I can't see that I've got any anywhere else, so that is good. So there we have our beautiful happy birthday. So we can take this back out of there, take our tape off the back, let's bring back our card. And then we've got that to sit in. So because this is, again, very slightly warped, I'm going to tape this flat with some double-sided tape. And this will help just keep it sitting nicely on our card. And again, so I'm going to keep the weaved pattern on my tanned as tidy as possible. We're going to add some foam to the back of this piece. So I'm going to make sure that I leave a gap around the edges of this, because I want to make sure that I can then get in my leaves and I can just tuck bits underneath it. So there we've got our card. Let's just take the backing off this. Okay, so let's bring this sort of nicely there. Let's bring back in all of our goodies. And I've got my tape pen here. So let's just add some glue in here, and then let's just tuck that in. So I'm not actually going to glue the leaves themselves, just so we can get just a touch of movement in there. So maybe we'll have a couple of the leaves as well, just poking on top of our circle. Okay, and then our last one. Sort of tuck this one right up onto there. So let's start adding some of our flowers. So let's just fill in this little gap down here. So let's pop that one there like that. Let's get our butterfly. So we're just gonna bend that one just slightly. Just bringing that one's wings up a little. Okay, so I'm actually going to change these foam pads just for something a little smaller. I'm just going to use a little piece of this. I think it just depends what kind of project you've got as to sort of how much dimension. Sometimes I find some of the foam is just, I don't know, sometimes it's just a tad high. Okay, let's pop that one. So let's get this guy back on. Okay, so all we need to do now is just trim off any of these sort of side pieces. So we could have brought it in a little bit, but I didn't want to then kind of take over all of this really lovely background that we've created. Okay, so now we're just going to take a look at decorating the inside. So I've cut a piece of white cardstock. So this is 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. So that's just going to sit in there so you've got a place to write your message. So I've got our stencil. So let's just line up our stencil in there. I'm going to take a little bit of Mowed Lawn. Got one of my brushes. I'm going to take a lot of the ink off onto my mat, and I'm just really, really lightly going to ink that through our stencil. So we've got a really lovely kind of light background that's going to go with the front of your card, but then it's still going to match in nicely. We are also going to stamp another sentiment on the inside, and it's going to say, "It's your day." ink that. So we've then got the inside greeting, and then we've just got these last few images which we're just going to add back into the inside. Let's add our second flower. So that's our inside. So let's bring our card back. And that is our finished card with the inside decorated as well. So that's our card finished for today's video, and that was using the Fabulous Foliage stamp and stencil set from Simply Cards and Papercraft issue 217. If you did like this card, please give this video a thumbs up. It is greatly appreciated. But now what I do want to do is share with you the giveaway. So this is for my 1,500 subscriber mark. So this is quite a big giveaway that I've sort of collected. There's some new bits in here that I've bought. There's some bits that's from my stash, so it's very, you know, very lightly used, some of it. But yeah, I wanted to do a slightly bigger one just to really say thank you to everybody who has subscribed, who likes and comments on my videos. It's really amazing. I can't believe just how fast my channel has grown, and sort of the support and everything that I do get from you guys. So I wanted to do a really great giveaway for you guys. So let me show you what we have got included. We've got sort of a mixture of a lot of stuff. So I'm hoping that you've got, you know, everything in here that you might need to just straight away get into creating some cards. So let me show you what I've put in. So the first thing we have got, this is the Hunky Dory Spring Celebration Deluxe Card Collection. So this will make at least 8 cards. So in here you have got 4 foiled and die cut topper sheets. You've got 4 foiled cardstock and 4 printed cardstock. So you can kind of see some of the designs that you've got here. It's all spring, really beautiful kind of purples. Looks like you've got a little bit of yellow in there, and they also got that really beautiful gold foiling that they do. So we have got that one. The next one we have got, this is again Hunky Dory, and this is just because. So in here we have got the card collection and a bite-size book. So again, you've got toppers in here, you have got papers in here. Let me just show you this book. So in here, this is 72 pages of beautifully fun, busy bee themed images. So we've got, you know, some really full size pages in here. And again, then you've got sort of multiples of each, and you've got them landscape and portrait. So again, you're going to be able to create some really beautiful cards with this set. So there are 2 card kits. I've then popped in some coloured paper, so you've got some rainbow sheets here, so you've got quite a few in there, and they're A4 in size. You've got some A4 leather embossed cardstock. So that is sort of the papers, but I have also included some, so these are 8x8 card blanks and envelopes, but of course you can cut them down if you want to create smaller cards. So you've got some card bases in there as well. So next on to kind of the products that I've included. So first of all, I've popped in a few embossing folders. So we have got this one. This is by Crafter's Companion. This is a vintage floral collection. So this is an 8x8 embossing folder called Floral Wonder. So you can see the design down here. But again, that is an 8" by 8" embossing folder. We've then got this embossing folder. I think this comes with some papers in there as well. We've got a Me to You. Again, this comes with some papers as well. So again, a really lovely size embossing folder. So this is 5x7. I'm going to say that is maybe 4x6. Then we've got this Cuttlebug. This is a daisies design. So these will go through the majority of your die cutting machines. You'll just need to look at the plate combinations for your particular machine. Then we've got this one. This is a decorative heart. So again, you've got that really beautiful heart design on there. Then we've got a couple of dies. So we've got this big Tonic Studios die. This is the decorative bow rings. So you have got 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe you've got 5 dies in here. And you can see then the different combinations of how you can cut this out just to get different looks, or you can use them all together. So we've got that one. We've got a couple of Gemini. So these are, just grab these ones as well. So these are Crafter's Companion dies. So we've got Flourishing Elements. So you can see these ones here. We have got Blossoming Borders. So you've got 2 border dies there. We've got Multimedia dies. So these are thicker. So these are 1.5mm thick. And we've got those in then the hexagons. And then you've got this really beautiful floral frame as well, and you can see sort of an example of how it's going to look there. So I think the last die we've got then is again Tonic Studios. So this is Peace Dove. So if I just turn it over, you can kind of just make out the size of these dies. So they're really nice and big. Then we've got some stamps. So this one is circular frames. So you've got lots of little stamps in here just to be able to build up frames and wreaths and things like that. So this one I have used very barely though. So we've got some branches with some lanterns. So this is called Supporting Elements. And again, then you can see those branches and then you can just hang those lanterns from there. And this is then Hunky Dory for the love of stamps. This is Pizza Passion. So again, I think the only stamp I used was this pizza slice from here. But then you've got slices, you've got the full pizza, and then you can create then your favourite pizza. The next stamp set we've got, so this is by Dovecraft. So you've got this really beautiful big stamp here of this cottage, so you'll be able to colour those in. You've got a couple of extra elements. You've got rose bushes, and we've got a trellis here with a couple of birds, a few sentiments, and this can then be paired with these envelopes, these card blanks and envelopes. These are 5x7 trellis card blanks. So you can see the example down here. They've just then stamped the image of the cottage to go behind that trellis. So they will work together, but of course you can use them separately. So that is kind of the, like I said, the papers, that's then the embossing folder, stamps and dies. So I've popped a couple of extra sort of elements and things in here for you. So I've popped in 2 acrylic blocks. We've got, this one is 3x5 inch, that's quite a nice thick one. I've also included then this 6.5 inch square. So this is a really big block. So extra embellishments, we've got some ribbon. So we've got some pink ribbon in here by Dovecraft. We have got a thinner blue ribbon in here, which has got some love hearts on it. And then we have got 2 sets of satin ribbon, this is. These are from Hobbycraft, so we've got Tropic and Topaz. So some really beautiful colours. You'll be able to mix those in with your spring card kits and things, so you'll definitely be able to use those ones. Then we've got just a little pack of blue stars in here. They've got 2 holes, so you might be able to sort of thread those onto your card projects, but definitely can be using those. Then you've got a pack of flat back, different kinds of sequins. So these are different sizes, different shapes. You've got some sort of dragonflies, you've got some butterflies, you've got some sort of like teardrops, some circles in there. So lots included in there. And then we've got 4 other products. So I've included 2 Distress Oxide ink pads. So we've got Salty Ocean and Seedless Preserve. So these were just some duplicates that I ended up receiving. Obviously, like you can see, they haven't been opened, still in their packaging. So if maybe you don't have these colours, or maybe you want to just, you know, get into having a go at some ink blending, that's going to be perfect. And then the last 2 items we've got, so we've got 2 tri-blend alcohol markers. So this one we have is a pale pink blend, and then we have the brown grey blend. So this one isn't in the packaging. I'd had taken it out before I realised that I already had it and it was a duplicate of mine, but they haven't been used at all. I've just had them sat in a box, so I wanted to, you know, give them to somebody. Maybe you haven't had a go at alcohol colouring before, maybe you don't have these particular colours, but you know, I've raved quite a few times now about how great I think these tri-blend markers are, certainly for beginners. So, you know, if you haven't had a go, these are going to be perfect. So that is a look at the haul that I'm going to be giving away to one of my lucky subscribers. So to be in for a chance to win this haul, please leave a comment underneath this video saying that you want to be entered into the competition, and then in my next video, so that will be on Tuesday, I will then pick a winner and announce it at the end of that video. Because of the size and the weight of this package, unfortunately it is going to be UK only. But yeah, if you want to be in for a chance to win all of this, then like I said, please leave a comment down below. Like this video if you did enjoy it, and I'll see you on Tuesday for the next video. Thanks very much for watching, and happy crafting.